Hi, I'm Christine Tizard. I am here. I want to show you one of my recipes from my new cookbook, Honest to Goodness. They are recipes for the everyday home cook. It's summertime right now, and there's just so many beautiful, fresh, local strawberries. I have rhubarb from my garden and some cherries. So this is just a berry vanilla rhubarb compote. We have my rhubarb. You're gonna need about 3 cups, so I'm just gonna finish chopping up the rest of this rhubarb. And you just want nice big chunks. There we go. So I'm gonna take all of this rhubarb and throw it in my sauce pot. And then I'll move over to my strawberries. And once again, I'm just gonna roughly chop them and throw them in, about a cup to a cup and a half. Cherries. Cherry pitters are great. All you have to do is put the cherry in this little thing and the pits just pop right out. So I have all my fruit in this nice big pot. I'm just gonna add a splash of water and maple syrup, anywhere from 1/4 of a cup to 1/2 cup. I add in. Now this is a vanilla bean, and inside this pod there's all these little seeds. I just cut in half. I slice it lengthwise, open it up, and then inside are all these little black seeds, so I'm gonna scrape them out with the back of a knife. I put the pod in, I'll put the seeds in. A couple other ingredients I'm gonna add, just additional flavorings to change it up a little bit. I have some star anise here. I'm gonna throw 2 of those in here. I have some fresh ginger. I just love fresh ginger and fruit. Like a good tablespoon. I'm gonna add some lemon juice. And finally, some orange. So I'm gonna add the juice and the zest. So that's it. You throw it in a pot. I'm gonna put it on the stove, bring this up to a simmer, and I'm just gonna let that fruit simmer away until all of those flavors that I added are gonna infuse into this compote. So on the stove it goes. This compote has been simmering about 10 minutes. The fruit has softened up beautifully. It smells great. It will start to thicken up as it cools. So I'm gonna take out the vanilla bean now. And you also, when you're spooning it out, you wanna pick out those 2 star anise that you put in there as well to add flavor, because you don't want anyone biting into those. Oh, it's really nice and chunky still, and those cherries haven't lost their shape, which is great. One of my favorite things to have compote with is pancakes. So I'm gonna show you my perfected pancake recipe. This is a very basic pancake recipe. So with pancakes, you need 2 bowls. You need a bowl for wet ingredients and you need a bowl for dry ingredients. So here's my dry ingredients. I'm using 1 3/4 of a cup of just a plain unbleached all-purpose flour. I like buckwheat in my pancakes, so I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of buckwheat. You can omit the buckwheat, just have all plain flour if you want. So you want them fluffy. So I'm just gonna use baking powder, and I'm gonna use 4 teaspoons and a nice good pinch of salt. So those are our dry ingredients all mixed up. Put those aside, and moving on to my wet ingredients. I'm gonna start with my eggs, large eggs. I'm going to add my milk. 1 1/2 cups of milk is typically what I start with. I'm also changing it up a little bit and adding some buttermilk, just to give it a little bit more flavor. I'm just gonna mix this together first. Apple cider vinegar, you're gonna think this is weird, but this is also gonna help make the pancakes fluffy. So I'm just gonna add a tablespoon. Also, this kind of will add that little bit of tang to it, same as buttermilk. My pure vanilla extract that I make at home. This recipe's in my cookbook as well. I like a lot of vanilla in my pancakes. So a tablespoon. My melted butter, 6 tablespoons. And now I'm going to put my dry into my wet. A little lumpy is okay. If your batter turns out to be thicker, so when you're lifting it up, it kind of plops off, then you have to add a little bit more milk. So you want it to be nice and thick, but still pourable. Now I'm ready to make pancakes. Definitely use butter when you're making pancakes. So there you have it, 2 recipes from Honest to Goodness. You have my perfected pancake recipe, and you have my berry vanilla rhubarb compote, and I'm gonna have some of this right now. Who doesn't want pancakes every weekend? I want pancakes every weekend.